history is often written by the victors. And when it comes to the Persian Empire, this couldn't be truer. For centuries, much of what we know about Persia has been filtered through the lens of its greatest rival, the Greeks. They painted the Persians as despotic tyrants while casting themselves as the defenders of freedom. But was this portrayal accurate? In reality, the Persian Empire was one of history's most influential and advanced civilizations, marked by innovation, tolerance, and enduring power. In this episode of History Reshaped, we'll take an in-depth look at its rise, governance, culture, and legacy, uncovering a civilization that was far more than just a Greek adversary. Long before Persia became a dominant force, the Iranian plateau was home to scattered, semi-nomadic tribes. These groups, Medes, Elamites, and various others, were fragmented, living in small kingdoms and settlements. But in the 6th century BCE, a leader emerged who would unite these lands and forge an empire that would stretch across 3 continents. That man was Cyrus the Great. Born around 600 BCE, Cyrus was more than just a conqueror. He was a visionary. Unlike many rulers of his time, he understood that true power lay not just in military strength, but in governance and diplomacy. In 550 BCE, Cyrus defeated the Median king Astyages, effectively uniting the Persians and Medes. From there, he set his sights on the great powers of the Near East. One of Cyrus's most significant conquests came in 539 BCE, when he captured Babylon, one of the most powerful cities of the ancient world. But unlike many conquerors, Cyrus did not plunder or destroy the city. Instead, he declared himself a liberator. One of his most famous acts was freeing the Jewish captives who had been exiled in Babylon for decades. He not only allowed them to return to Jerusalem, but also funded the rebuilding of their temple. This decree, recorded in the Cyrus Cylinder, is often considered one of the earliest declarations of human rights. Cyrus's policy of cultural tolerance became the foundation of the Persian Empire's success. Unlike the Assyrians and Babylonians before him, who ruled through fear and brutality, Cyrus understood that respecting the customs and religions of conquered peoples fostered loyalty and stability. His rule set a precedent for the Persian kings who followed. After Cyrus's death, his son Cambyses expanded the empire further, conquering Egypt. But it was under Darius the Great, r. 522 to 486 BCE, that Persia reached its peak. Darius was not just a warrior, he was an administrator of extraordinary skill. To manage the vast empire, he divided it into satrapies or provinces, each governed by a satrap, a regional governor. This decentralized system allowed for efficient administration while ensuring local autonomy. But Darius's most remarkable innovations were economic and infrastructural. He introduced a standardized currency, the daric, which facilitated trade across the empire's vast territories. He built the Royal Road, a 1,500-mile-long highway stretching from Sardis in Asia Minor to Susa in Persia. Messengers could traverse it in just 7 days thanks to a relay system, an incredible feat of engineering and organization. He established a fair taxation system, ensuring that wealth flowed to the empire's heartlands, while maintaining stability in the provinces. Darius also left behind one of Persia's most stunning architectural legacies, Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the empire, built to showcase Persian grandeur. Persia was not just an empire of warriors and rulers, it was a civilization rich in culture, science, and art. Unlike Greek city-states like Athens and Sparta, where slavery was central to the economy, Persia had a more nuanced approach. Enslaving Persian citizens was forbidden, and workers were often paid for their labor. Women in Persia also held rights that were unheard of in much of the ancient world. They could own property, manage estates, and even run businesses, privileges denied to most Greek women. In terms of technology and art, Persian craftsmen were masters of metalwork, producing stunning gold and silver artifacts. Persian carpets, woven with intricate designs, became symbols of luxury that are still renowned today. The empire's scientific advancements also influenced future civilizations. Persian scholars contributed to astronomy, mathematics, and medicine, laying the groundwork for later Islamic and European developments. The Persian Empire is often remembered for its wars against Greece, particularly the famous battles of Marathon, 490 BCE, Thermopylae, 480 BCE, and Salamis, 480 BCE. Greek historians like Herodotus portrayed the conflict as a struggle between freedom-loving Greeks and tyrannical Persians. But this was a simplification of history. Persia, by contrast, ruled over a vast and culturally diverse empire, allowing local customs and governance structures to remain intact. In many ways, Persia was more tolerant and inclusive than the city-states that opposed it. But despite Persia's strength, internal conflicts and overextension would eventually weaken the empire. In 334 BCE, Alexander the Great launched his invasion of the Persian Empire. Within 6 years, he had conquered the once mighty realm, and in 330 BCE he burned Persepolis, marking the symbolic end of Persian dominance. Yet Persia's influence didn't vanish. Alexander himself adopted Persian customs and even encouraged his soldiers to marry Persian women. Many Persian administrative systems, from satrapies to tax collection, were absorbed into later empires, including the Islamic caliphates and the Ottoman Empire. Persian art, science, and philosophy continued to shape civilizations for centuries to come. Even today, the Persian legacy can be seen in everything from architectural styles to political governance. For too long, the Persian Empire has been seen merely as the enemy of Greece, a footnote in the story of Western civilization. But this empire was one of history's greatest, not because of its military conquests alone, but because of its administrative brilliance, cultural richness, and enduring impact. So the next time you hear Persia reduced to just a rival of Greece, remember, this was a civilization of complexity, innovation, and humanity. A story that deserves to be told in full. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Persia's history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode of History Reshaped. Until next time, keep exploring the past.